are excited to offer some fantastic language classes here at St. Mary's School. Here are some fun facts and information that you should know when choosing a language.
Well, it is one of the most used language in the world. Actually, it is the most used first language, and on the second language list, it is the fourth popular one. So if you can speak it, they are listening.
China, as everybody knows, has become the second biggest economy in the world since like 10 years ago. The role it plays in this world is going to only become more and more important. And I think despite all the difficulties we're facing right now, the US and China are going to have a stronger relationship in the future.
Traditional Chinese culture are way different from Western culture. Different kind of food, beverage, candies, activities, movies, songs. It's definitely gonna open your mind. But surprisingly, you might find many things in common as well. So you got to try it and find it out for yourself.
We're going to expose you to a very unique, culture diverse environment. You can communicate with our international student. You can attend our field trips and also be part of our very cool, halfly paid summer camp.
So at our school, you can use Chinese and practice it with our international students every day. At the same time, you can make them feel more welcomed and included in our school community. So come join us.
This is a conversation-based class. It's very social. We spend a lot of time with our friends. We cook in class pretty regularly. We go on field trips, different restaurants, listen to new music. We try to find new ways to broaden our cultural horizons every day.
Did you know that over 500 million people speak Spanish worldwide, and over 43 million people speak Spanish right here in the United States? In fact, Spanish is the second most commonly spoken language right here in the US. If you speak Spanish, you can make lots of connections with lots of people and have a leg up in the job market.
In the Spanish department, you can travel to Argentina for a semester through our exchange program. Where else can you travel to a different country, learn a new language, broaden your cultural horizons, eat a bunch of delicious red meat, and do all this for 6 weeks for the cost of one plane ticket? In addition, your family will host a student for 6 weeks, and you'll have a new brother or sister for life.
Our Spanish students at St. Mary's have a lot of opportunities to serve both locally and abroad. In fact, we have a great program called Casas de Luz, where you have the opportunity to travel to Mexico to build a house for a family in need.
Graduating seniors can actually speak Spanish. How many other schools can say that? After 4 or 5 years of hard work, we were able to speak Spanish. That helps us to get our application for college, our resume for a job on top of the stack. Helps to enrich our lives and broaden our cultural horizons.
Hey everyone, if you're watching this, it's likely that you or your child is thinking about taking Latin. Now, the question that always gets asked is, why in the world would you take a dead language? Well, that's not entirely true. I'm going to give you a few reasons of why you should take Latin next year. The first reason you should take Latin is because students who took Latin have an edge on the SAT. Over 50% of the English language derives from Latin, which means you'll have an advantage on such words like perfidious and soliloquy, two of the most common words that appear on the SAT. Higher vocab generally means a higher test score. Latin is the parent to several languages, most notably Italian, French, Spanish, Portuguese, and Romanian. So this means that if you know Latin, learning these other languages becomes incredibly simple. When I took over the Latin department at St. Mary's, I decided to give students an option to do something with real academic value. While Latin may only be used by the Vatican today, it was the official language of the Catholic Church for almost 2,000 years. These documents of the Church and countless others lie untranslated across the world. Latin 4 is called medieval Latin because students choose an untranslated source and with my help bring it back to life. The third reason is therefore that by the end of the Latin journey at St. Mary's, you'll have a professional translation that's then placed on Fordham University's online medieval sourcebook, which gives students a resume-building accomplishment that is then used by college students studying the Middle Ages across the globe. So I'm going to add a bonus reason. Here's the thing. You don't have to speak it. All I care about is, can you translate it? Another bonus reason to take Latin, and I promise this is the final reason, is that Latin has a trip planned to go abroad. Now, it's a bit hard to do a full exchange like the other languages since the ancient Romans are long dead and all the modern Romans speak Italian, but what we can do is visit places where the ancient Romans thrived. This means Rome, obviously, and places like the Colosseum and Forum, as well as the Vatican and countless cathedrals and museums in Rome, but also notable Roman sites in Naples, Sicily, even Malta's been thrown on the table. So if you're looking to travel the Mediterranean a bit, looking through ruins and pretending to be Indiana Jones for a few weeks, then consider Latin.
We hope you enjoyed learning a little bit about our language programs at St. Mary's School. If you have any questions, please feel free to contact me, Megan Stillwell, at mstillwell@smschool.us. We can't wait to see you next year.